Phase 1 of the province's plan to reopen the economy gets underway in just days. Retail businesses, restaurant patios and hair salons will once again be able to open to the public on May 4th. Now, to talk more about this, I'm joined by downtown Winnipeg BIZ CEO Kate Fensky. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for chatting with me, Renee.
Now, Kate, I'm guessing you've had a chance to review this reopening plan that came out yesterday. What do you think? Is this good news for downtown businesses?
I think overall it is good news. The challenge still is really there's a lot of details to figure out. So when the plan was first announced yesterday, our team got right to work going through it, and it really is sector by sector. There's different requirements for different businesses on what they can do and how they can open. And I think what's really important, especially for downtown businesses and across the city, is no one wants to jump too quickly. They want to make sure they're following the recommendations and that they can provide their customers and their clients a safe experience. So everyone's still working through the plan and trying to figure that out. I would say it is more expansive than we first anticipated it being. So there's a lot of stuff happening right now just over the next couple of days, especially over the weekend as we head into Monday when officially, I guess, the reopen plan begins.
All right. Now, there are some restrictions in place. For example, we know businesses have to limit their capacity to 50% of regular levels or one person per 10 square meters, whichever is lower. Are these too much or not enough?
I think it depends on where you're looking at and what the business is. So really what the challenge is right now is businesses need to figure out what their requirements are and then determine if it's actually even financially viable for them to open. So for example, if you have a restaurant that's doing delivery and takeout right now, or maybe they've been considering it, and they're able to open a patio, but they can't allow people to sit inside the restaurant. When we're looking at some of those restrictions for the patios, they may only be able to fit 2 or 3 tables out on a patio. So it doesn't make sense for them to hire staff, try and get them back on if they're really not going to see the income they need to stay afloat. So that's what a lot of businesses are working through, trying to figure out if it does make sense. The other thing, when we're looking at retail locations and for the professional services, it's really important that signage is on the door, that there are floor markings that are available, that hand sanitizer is available. So those are a lot of requirements that businesses now are trying to figure out, can they meet them in time for Monday, and does it make sense for them to open? So the Downtown Winnipeg BIZ, we're trying to help where we can with that, seeing if we can get our hands on a larger supply of sanitizer to help our businesses. And also we're working on creating signage so businesses can just put them right up in the windows and reminding people about physical distancing and helping with the floor markings as well.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot for businesses to have to do in a short time. How much notice were businesses given for this, and was it enough?
If you look at Saskatchewan's plan, they announced it earlier, but the open date is the same. So I think when we're looking at having 4.5 days in terms of going through the requirements, trying to figure out, share that information, and see where we need clarification. There is still some areas that we would like to have some clarification around the capacity and the physical distancing of how to manage that best so people are safe. And I think it's just everyone's trying to figure out quickly how they can do, what makes sense. But I wouldn't expect that all the businesses are going to be opening up on Monday. I think we're going to see sort of a gradual approach come to it and see really it's important that businesses are doing what makes sense. And businesses definitely across the city have always been trying to do what's right to help flatten the curve, protect their customers and their clients, and do the right thing as a community. So now it's just the next phase of that, of how do we do that the right way, and does it make financial sense for the business to reopen? That's still going to be a big challenge. There are still rent bills that need to be paid. There's utilities. There have been a lot of deferral programs that have been offered, but that really just puts the financial burden, just pushes it back. So if you're not making the income that you were making before, does it make sense to hire staff? The other challenge too is around supply chain. Restaurants haven't been ordering, maybe retail stores haven't been ordering, and it's not just as simple as flipping a switch and all of a sudden you can get all the goods and services and everything you need to get back up and running so quickly. So we're definitely going to have to be patient, and I think that's the right approach right now, is to do it gradually.
All right. Now, it's no secret that businesses will have taken a hit from this quarantine. Is there optimism for those businesses that they can recover, or is there fear? What's the sense you're getting?
I think there's both, and I think it would be strange if we weren't optimistic and hopeful, and also if there wasn't some true fear around some of the challenges, because it has been heartbreaking seeing what some of the businesses are going through and empty streets of our downtown. You know, downtown workers are the primary customer base, so when everyone's working from home, that is a real challenge. A lot of them have really innovated and come up with unique ways to try and stay afloat, and they're doing that. They're coming up with curbside pickup and delivery options that they weren't doing before, online commerce. So I think we'll continue to see that. I think there definitely is a hope through the summer, but it's not going to be the same. It's not, as I mentioned, just flipping the switch where we're going to get back to normal numbers. We can't have big gatherings. So that's going to be really tricky in terms of how we support the downtown community and the businesses, because a lot of it is festivals, events, when people get together, and everyone wants to do the right thing. So it's just how you balance that, where businesses still can work and be open in the way that they need to be in order to get the income that they need, but doing it safely.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Kate Fenske, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks, Renee.
We'll be right back.